So many reasons to love California.
We believe in freedom,
including the freedom to make our own decisions about abortion.
No matter what politicians think.
Oh, really? We do? Wow, that's so interesting because I've been a California resident my entire life. I was born and raised in Southern California. I went to college in California. And because of that, I was a pretty hardline blue Democrat. It's kind of just what you do in the area of California that I was born and raised in. I'm also a millennial. I used to be an actress. All of those things made me a reflexive Democrat. I voted for Obama. I voted for Hillary Clinton. And then something funny happened in 2020. In March 2020, I lost both of my jobs overnight. Those jobs were essential to me, but I complied. I was okay with it at first. I did everything that was asked of me. But then summer 2020 rolled around, and the Democrats in LA made it clear that I could go out and protest, or worse, on behalf of BLM, but I still couldn't go to work. I still was a non-essential worker, even though, again, my jobs are essential to me. I still couldn't go visit family. I had a grandmother needlessly dying alone, and in fact did later die alone. Nothing to do with COVID, just needlessly dying alone because of the response to COVID, but none of that mattered, but I could go out and protest, or worse. At one point in Los Angeles, we were under a nightly curfew due to peaceful protests on top of a lockdown that at that point had gone on for months and would continue on for many more months. At that point, June 2020, restaurants, shops, mom and pop places that were not big box stores, they had just barely been permitted to open with all of these crazy restrictions, the plastic dividers and 2 people allowed inside at a time. And then because of the peaceful protests, I watched as these stores that had already taken such a huge hit had to board up, lock up again because of a nightly curfew and peaceful protests. That's what the Democrats did. And don't get me wrong, I understand that for a time in the beginning of this, it seems like the entire country collectively lost its mind. And I'm not excusing that or negating that on behalf of Republicans or anyone else. But the Democrats milked it for all that it was worth. And we know that. They milked it for all it's worth and then some. We had an indoor mask mandate for 2 straight years in Los Angeles. From April 2020 to March of 2022, you had to wear a mask indoors anywhere you went. And I complied for a time. I complied for too long, actually. I complied for about a year, and then I stopped. And I can tell you from personal experience that when you stopped complying, or if you didn't comply, you paid for it dearly. I was harassed by both employees and customers alike. I was denied service. I was treated rudely. I heard every awful name in the book. I even at one point had an announcement made about me in a Kroger's Ralph's. For God knows what reason. Nothing happened, but they did make an announcement about a maskless employee in the store, which was yours truly. We had vaccine passports in both Los Angeles County and Los Angeles City. From November 2021 to March of 2022, I could not go into a restaurant or bar. I couldn't go to events. I couldn't go to certain public spaces. Now, is that the end of the world? No, it's not the end of the world, but it's not liberty. It's not freedom. It's not the right to privacy or the right to make your own medical decisions. It's not American. If you were unvaccinated or you didn't want to show your vaccine card, you could sit outside if there was room, like a dog, no matter the weather, whatever, or you could take it to go, or you could just leave. Again, that's not American, that's not liberty, that's not freedom. In LA, we had a mask mandate for healthcare facilities, whether you were a worker or you were a client, through well into 2023. Okay? Even in Orange County, where I grew up, I had to pay to visit my father in May of 2022 while he was recovering in the hospital. And I had to pay because I wasn't vaccinated, because I needed a negative test. Had I been vaccinated, I wouldn't have had to pay. So I had to pay to visit my own father, and you needed a negative test every 72 hours. So you had to pay every 72 hours if you weren't vaccinated. And the kicker in all this is that no matter whether you were vaccinated or unvaccinated, we all had to wear masks as visitors regardless. And again, this was 2 years in, 2022. So you know what? Maybe you're a Democrat, and for some godforsaken reason, you still want to argue for abortion access. But you're going to need to find a new argument. Because the entire world saw what you put Americans through in 2020 and 2021 and 2022 and 2023, and you have not ever even apologized. You robbed yourselves of your own argument. We all saw the last 4 years who the actual side of my body, my choice is, and it ain't you. This is not about my body, my choice. It's not about bodily autonomy. It's not about liberty. It's not about freedom. It's not about privacy. And it's not about making medical decisions with your doctor. It is literally about ending the lives of humans. That's what it's about. Okay? And we know you for the charlatans that you are. You have no abiding principles, no abiding morals. You have no consistent through line logic. You just love abortion. That's all it is. And you can no longer manipulate people like me, who used to be pro-choice, now I would call it pro-abortion, who used to be a Democrat, who used to donate to Planned Parenthood. You can no longer manipulate me with catchphrases like my body, my choice, or we love freedom, or the right to privacy and make your own medical decisions, because I lived through it. I lived through hell because of you guys. As someone who didn't want to comply, who didn't want to cover up half my face, who didn't want to take the shot and didn't need it, you put me through hell. I lost multiple jobs. I tried to go back to work early. I could have stayed on government unemployment, but I tried to go back to work early because I actually like working. I like having something to do and somewhere to be. I need to work. I don't want to just earn a set amount every month or week that the government tells me I get. I tried to go back to work early, and eventually I had to quit because I was a waitress and vaccine passports were coming down the pike, and my boss was pressuring me to make a fake card if I didn't want to get the real thing. I tried to go back to work early for myself and also for the city, for society, to get us back to normal, and you made me quit because you decided to implement vaccine passports and I was going to get fired anyways. You put me through hell, and I'm one of millions who saw all of this craziness for what it was the last 4 years, and who saw you for what you guys are. You had me and then you lost me. And the fact that you're too stupid, you're not self-aware enough to realize that you killed your own argument is freaking crazy. I hope that y'all continue to just tell on yourselves like this, to have zero self-awareness, and just keep pushing that envelope, right? Just keep pushing that envelope. We see you for the radical charlatans that you are, and I will never shut up about it.